Today's adventure begins as I've just gotten in my car and peeking out the driver's side window here as a recording of this Sunday, January 16th, 2022, and I am in the middle of a winter storm here on the outskirts of Columbia, South Carolina. I'm just going to see what happens. I'm going to go out for a bit and see what happens. I'm probably going to need to put the defrost on for a bit first, because the ice, okay, it's coming off there, but I'll put the defrost on for a little bit too. So it's about 33 degrees, but there's a lot of wind and a lot of ice at the moment and a lot of rain. So the rain has turned into ice. A lot of power outages too in the area. My hotel still had lights on, but they were flickering on and off, and the elevator, they put this sign up, I had to take the stairs. It says take the stairs to be safe. So I did. Now it's really not the temperature that's too terribly bad, but it's the sleet, the ice, rain falling from the heavens. In fact, I can't even wipe it off here, the side mirror. And there's a lot of wind, very heavy gusts of winds. You see a water tower over there in the distance that says the town's name, the city's name, Columbia, South Carolina. But even the traffic signals are waving in the breeze. Not a lot of ice on the road from what I can tell, but definitely a lot of ice on my side mirror right here. Look at that, almost looks like tin foil. And then look at this. Right there, it's like protruding up the side of the window. Needless to say, I'm not going too far today. I'm just gonna do some stuff around downtown Columbia and then back to the hotel. Yeah, this is pretty wild. And also getting some siren noises. But you see there are vehicles out, not a lot, but there are cars driving, and not too many icy conditions on the road, as I stated, from what I've seen so far. All up in those limbs. Ice. Here in South Carolina, an ice storm. Taking a look at what happens through here with these high winds. These limbs all along the ground here. And all up here, all these tree limbs have cast off of the trunks. And one thing I've learned in my travels through inclement weather, especially ice and snow and things like that, by the way, I put pants on for this occasion. Yeah, price of gas and your price of fuel, it's like $2.89 a gallon. And even though I had half a tank, went ahead and decided to top it off, because if it's, icy and if snow eventually rolls in and trucks can't get in to deliver gas, you're out of luck. So try to top it off. Better safe than sorry. Ooh, it is brisk out here. Welcome everyone, TheDailyWoo here. I have forgotten my umbrella, so I'm gonna get back in the car, but I'm standing out in ice storm Izzy. I had to get back in the car before my camera gets ruined, but this is the world's largest fire hydrant. Yeah, I didn't want to do the intro with the car, so now the camera's getting rained on. Why am I doing this? I'm prepared as far as getting fuel and a piping hot caffeinated beverage, but I left my umbrella at the hotel room. Located in a plaza by the name of Busted Plug Plaza, because you can see how busted up this whole section is here. The artist who unveiled this worked on it for quite some time, unveiled it back in 2001. It even had quite the shindig. All the locals showed up, a lot of news media. They even had an Elvis impersonator. I was reading a little info on it. I'm also sitting back in the car filming out of the window, because that is some icy cold precipitation going down there. The neat thing about this over here at Busted Plug Plaza is there's a tunnel over there against the wall. Might not be able to see it, but it's called tunnel vision. And it's in the same plaza, and it kind of gives the effect of, Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote, where Wile E. Coyote would be fooled by the Roadrunner painting the tunnel on the side of the wall. Kind of reminds me of that, and it's over there. I've been through here before, but it's been a while since I passed through these parts. But when in Columbia, South Carolina, you have to see the world's largest fire hydrant, standing 40 feet tall. Just not in an ice storm. It's better not to do it in an ice storm like I'm doing it. This is about as close as I can get without traversing out there into the sleet. But take a look at that. It even has a little sunset or a moonset, probably a sunset. And this was created by the same artist. This mural, 3D mural on the side of the wall that looks as if you could drive right through the middle of this, called Tunnel Vision. Same artist years before, many years before, that did the world's largest fire hydrant, created this. And if Wile E. Coyote was here, like I was saying, he would probably do a face plant right in the side of that concrete wall. That looks so realistic. I love it. And it really doesn't take long when I turn the windshield wipers off, just sitting here in this parking lot, for the windshield to start formulating ice. You know, it's right at 32 degrees. But also the rain from the heavens is icy, so that doesn't help either. All right, I'm just gonna kind of shimmy around downtown, see what else I can find. I like how clever they have these signs here saying, no dogs near the fire hydrant, because this would be a dog. A dog would have a field day with this thing. This is like a dog's heavenly, it's like a dog's heaven when it comes to using the facilities. That's like the mother load for a dog. The mother, well, as far as restrooms go. Now there's a relic, an old Crest store. Look at that. That's cool. While I got the window down, you can see the water's pouring in, the icy cold water. This chain here is titled Never Bust Chain. Put here, you know, it wasn't allowed to be put here, but once it was put here by the artist, people loved it and it stayed ever since. The Never Bust Chain between that alley. Okay, roll the window back up, it's cold. Take a look at that piece of artwork right there on the side of the wall. It's like a lightning bolt of sorts. And while I'm sitting here at this light, this old theater called the Nickelodeon Theater. See it over there? And then King's Jewelers, right there. King's Jewelers and Nickelodeon Theater. That's cool. Wow, that is one big old rooster. My arm's getting rained on. The window back up. But that is one large fowl right there. You're a chicken or a rooster? Very colorful. Standing here in the parking lot, braving the elements of this ice storm, Izzy. Some cold rain, Izzy. Oh, they're braving it too. It is, yeah, it's chilly. Cold, wet, and a little bit of ice formations. If you stand still in it too long, you gotta keep moving. When I drive the car around, if I sit long enough, the ice starts to formulate on the windows. All right, this is pretty good. Look at this mural. Here's to American cooking. Cola, they have dining and cocktails, except it looks like the beverages that couple there is drinking it looks like wine glasses. That is not soda pop, folks. Went ahead and parked. Gonna go underneath this little awning. Thankfully, this will shield me from the elements just a little bit. But I noticed this, which is a gong. I don't know if I've ever seen a gong in real life. I remember the Gong Show, you know, reruns of that. That was a little before my time, or at least I was a youth when that was on, but I do remember. Ooh, there's a lizard down here. A salamander. One of the Columbia salamanders down there. For 30 years, Marvin Chernoff, head of Columbia's Chernoff Silver Advertising Agency, sounded a gong to celebrate creative excellence, big ideas and success. Turn the handle, ring this gong, and signal your own success. And yes, I did get a coffee. I haven't had this type in a long time, but that's what the fuel station had. Oh, the wind's kicking now. Yeah, the wind's kicking up just a bit over there. I'm right here next to the convention center. Here you can see the flags over there waving briskly in the breeze. little chilly. But not too much ice though. You know, luckily I'm not slipping on the ice. You can even see over there the water's kind of flowing downhill. I think it's about 33 degrees now. So it's warmed up a little bit. I'm gonna ring this gong. Also, not a lot of people have ridden these bikes today for obvious reasons. Long time. I just rang the gong. That is cool. I just rang a gong for the first time in my life. The gong has been rang. Basically what you do is, let me set my coffee down. Turn this. I mean, you witnessed all this by watching it, but get a little closer view here. You turn this. Yes. There's a couple little birds up here. Little metal birds. Oh, and the bus is running. It's only $1 to ride. The Soda Cap Connector, also known as the Comet. Pretty good, $1. Yeah. Do this again. All right, that one's for you, Marvin. That one's for you. Want another one, Marv? The coldness is getting to me. Oh, I'm noticing something over here too. Got a set of, it says I love you. What should really be underneath the awning. But it says I love you here, this hand signal. This sculpture represents the American Sign Language sign for I love you. Dedicated back in October of 2019. I gotta be honest, I did not realize that this was the international sign, or the American sign, for I love you. I thought it meant other things. That's pretty cool. I can see my breath. I can see my breath before me as I'm talking. That's always fun. Kind of adds to the vibe. I love you. That's what this says. In sign language. It's probably really cold. I bet this is like really, you want to have a Christmas story moment and stick your tongue against that. I'm not gonna double dog dare anyone to do that. As much as I love you, I wouldn't do that to someone. Woo, that wind chill, something else out here. As I'm holding my camera, my fingers are going numb. Like, remember that scene from Dumb and Dumber? He had 2 pairs of gloves and didn't give his friend the other pair. I don't have any gloves on right now, but I'm okay, I'm all right. My fingers are feeling it though. I'm gonna get back in the car. Now obviously it is not open today. In fact, it might not even be open in general at all anymore. But the Constan car wash here, many years ago, decades ago, used to house an on-site, well, not really a mascot per se, but they had a live tiger on property here at the Constan car wash in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm gonna pull forward. There used to be like a information placard or a little dedication to Happy the Tiger, was the tiger's name. And I guess the reason the tiger was here is because the zoo was under construction for many years, so they had the tiger here. That's the best recollection I could figure out, really, of why a tiger was at a car wash. Might not be the best place for a tiger to reside, but it's the truth. Tiger was here. Long time ago. pulling through an area now known as 5 Points. Very music-driven area here in 5 Points. In fact, there's a mural here dedicated to some musicians. It says, "Greetings from 5 Points, Columbia, South Carolina." There's the 5 Points South Theater there. On the mural, that is. Over there, across the way, is the 5 Points South Theater that was shown on that mural. Also known as the Cotton Gin. I have found another area shaded from the elements. Ooh, let me step back just a bit behind this pole. Get out of the wind. Also known as the Cotton Gin. That is the 5 Points South Theater there. Oh yeah, it is windy. I'm trying to use this pole to kind of block the wind, but it's not really working. Okay, that's kind of working. Let me just kind of nestle up against here. And something I did not realize till now, well, besides the fact that there is a mannequin in a bathtub up on that ledge up there. I'll zoom on that in the middle in a minute. But this monument is dedicated to the 1990s group Hootie and the Blowfish, which got their start around these parts. And this is dedicated to Hootie and the Blowfish. I did not realize that until today. Learn something new all the time. In fact, this cross street bears the name of Hootie and the Blowfish. And the singer of Hootie and the Blowfish has gone on to be a very successful country singer. There's the mannequin in the bathtub, and let me walk over here. Oh, it's raining. It's raining. Look how wet this is. Why am I doing this? Ooh, icy cold rain. Icy cold rain right there. Hootie and the Blowfish, corner of Santee and Hardin. Ooh, okay. Yeah, okay. Person in the bathtub and the mural. Let me zoom back out. It is wet. Going back to my car. I gotta get back to my car. I'm getting rained on. In fact, the lens is getting doused. Doused with icy cold rain. Okay. All right, see ya, Hootie. See ya. Also noticing here in the parking lot around the backside of Groucho's Deli, as seen there on that end, is a mural, a painting dedicated to what appears to be the unbreakable chain that's downtown. Pretty good artwork there. But one thing that's really fascinating is there is a huge break in the wall. And I can't tell if it's a real break in the wall or if it's just part of the artwork. I think it's real. Take a look at that. I've never seen an active building that has a crack right down the middle of the wall. Probably about a 10-foot crack down the center of the wall. And this building is still active and used as a storefront. That's very unique. Also, do you know how to catch a unique rabbit? Do you know how to catch a very unique rabbit? What the secret is? I don't know how. How do you catch a unique rabbit? Unique up on it. Oh, that's bad. Also want to point out this very unique looking Exxon gas station, convenience store. At my place in Celebration, Florida, there's a 7-Eleven that has a Hollywood type vibe. That whole area has very unique architecture. There's a 7-Eleven that looks like it belongs in Hollywood. And I could see this almost having that Art Deco Hollywood style vibes here in South Carolina at an Exxon. That's different, right? I didn't expect to see something like that. Pretty cool looking. Over that bridge and that river into the next little community across the river is Cayce. C-A-Y-C-E. Cayce? If I'm pronouncing it right. Suburb of Columbia, if you will. Right off this road in the lot next to the distillery well, same property, but fenced off. Just so happens to be a iron shell of an AT-AT. Now I know, my generation usually calls it an AT-AT, most do, my age. But AT-AT as well, Star Wars franchise. Empire Strikes Back, traversing around right here, under the elements, starting to show a little bit of wear and tear from the elements and rust there. But an AT-AT, an AT-AT, right here in this yard. It has stopped raining for the moment, so I'm able to walk around. It's kind of sprinkling just a little bit, but nothing too intense. That's pretty neat. Oh, look at this. A TIE fighter. I didn't even notice that at first. And X-Wing. Wow, a couple X-Wings. That's cool. I think about 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I passed through this area for a brief moment. I kind of recall this being in the yard, but I've slept since then, so. Oh, it's nodding its head. The wind is blowing it. See it shifting. Yeah, it is chilly out here. It is really cold. Luckily the wind's not blowing too terribly bad. There it is. The AT-AT outside of Columbia, South Carolina. In a distillery side yard. Who knew? Looks as if out here the next lot over is another piece by the same artist. Some of the wrought iron metal creating something. Can't really figure out exactly what that is, but it's obviously the same material that AT-AT's made out of. This is just in the next lot over, across the road. And passing me is one of these salt trucks that dumps salt on the ground to keep the ice from formulating. I believe that's what that was that went by. I've seen a few of them today. That's going to do it for today. A little shorter episode. I didn't stay out as long as I usually would when I'm exploring a community or a town or a city. However, with the elements, kind of just makes sense to go back to my hotel and stay out of what I probably should not have been driving around in to begin with. But I'm glad I went out. Honestly, I'm glad I did, because it turned out to be a pretty decent day. And the road conditions, at first when I started off the morning, did not think they were going to lighten up, and it's now 34 degrees, so there's no ice on the roads at all. There was a lot of ice this morning, but it's gotten way better. I will be staying in my hotel tonight, checking out in the morning, and then leaving this area. I will not be leaving the state, but I will be going to a totally separate, distant area than where I have been the last couple days here in Columbia, South Carolina. Checked out a lot of small towns, and then today checked out Columbia proper, if you will. Just some of the more kind of well-known roadside attractions, other than just, back road type stuff. Didn't really want to hit the back roads for obvious reasons. Ice Storm Izzy is in full effect, but I'm going to wait out the rest of the day. If my hotel room has power, it might not have power. But nonetheless, I'll be out of the elements. I'll see you in the next video. The vlog is over. By the way, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.